amount,
successful.
which
Did
like
it, did
6,000 feels
it
easier to
die?
pay off rather than 20,000. So now I'm at the time where I might,
Die? What happened?
might pay it off. But I did when I was taking on that
Okay.
loan, I negotiated a really good
Okay, it's
interest rate.
What
back.
is that?
Honestly, I can't even
That was
recall, but I
weird.
just remember it was really good, and
Like,
and they were like, "Oh,
Below
this is
or
really good."
above 4%?
It's definitely below
Okay.
4%.
Below, okay.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
private though.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no chance of it getting forgiven. Okay.
Yeah.
I do not give a financial advice on this show. I just
Yeah.
like to hear
This
what
is the
people
rest
think.
of
Yeah.
it?
But you should pay that off.
Yeah, sure.
This
I
is
mean,
the
that's
rest
good.
of
I've
this
been thinking
guy.
about that for a while, so I'll take that.
Just because it's private. It's
Yeah.
private, and there's this.
Okay.
Private student loans are the worst, even if it's a low rate.
Yeah.
I'm actually really glad it's a low rate because usually
Yeah.
private student loans are pretty predatory.
Yeah. The good thing is,
I feel like you could probably break this up more. I don't know, maybe do like specialized topic and then like have a variety of answers. Because I don't know. This is and like cut it up between the different people. Because right now, to be honest, I'm getting kind of bored. They shouldn't have put her first. They should have put her second. Yeah, okay, I guess. But then again, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I guess I go way too much towards kind of dumpster fire. I think that's just my personality, though. I don't know. Speaking of, I might just jump on because this one's just gonna be kind of all over the place stream. I think I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna do the music. Screw it. Let's get into what we were. The part that's not gonna be archived here, or at least probably won't be able to be archived as well. Let's go ahead and listen to Taquito Man's songs because Taquito Man is a musician. And because of like the dates on these, it seems like these were not faked. So that's exciting. So it looks like him. It definitely looks like our boy Taquito Man. Not super sure, but yeah, I'm pro dump. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I like lolcows. I like dumpster fires. I also like finances, but I tend to like it with a little bit of drama. That's why I like Caleb Hammer. It's a little bit of everything. Uh I I heard like a few seconds and it did sound like his voice. Do we jump into the rabbi one or should we start from the or should we start from like the older one and see like how he progresses in his art? Should we start with like the newest or should we start with the oldest? I don't know. I might just jump into the rabbi one. I will say I am I am proud of myself. Guessed that he would be a folk singer and he totally is. So, I was right. I know, right? Like I saw this. I was like, what the hell? I was not expecting this. Let's just go into the rabbi one, I guess.
This is one of those story
Can you
songs
hear
that
this okay?
like
Yeah.
you're just not gonna get without some
Yeah, that's totally Taquito Man. That's definitely Taquito Man.
explanation because it's just too real and weird and personal and it's a giant metaphor.
Why is he starting with, "Oh, you just won't get it"? Is that a good sign for your song? Is that you have to say like, "Oh, you just don't get it"? We haven't even heard it yet, bro.
And it's just not gonna make sense if I explain it. It's a story about Rabbi and a man, and they were walking to a bar. They're wishing on whiskey to get the other back to par. 'Cause that rabbi's flock, they're dying. They're refinancing their graves. Location's all that matters when eternity comes in space.
Okay,
God's market share, it's shrinking. Chosen people's up now.
Okay.
The Wailing Wall, it's crumbling. And even Rabbi's got his doubts.
It's not bad.
He's face to face with death, and dust and shedding breath. He picked a lousy game, but it's all the same. The only thing to do is what they want you to. Only thing to do is right inside you.
Okay.
That man's alive, it's buried under a wording bed.
I'm trying to figure out.
Trading shillings for shillings, put his soul in hell of dead. But he traded woods of love to Satan, just to feel again.
I'm trying
to know it's right with his own heart and take life out on a spin. He's looking his own lives right between the eyes. He picked a lousy game, but it's all the same. The only thing.
Don't know what to say about this. Partially just because I can't 100% understand what he's saying. So I can't 100%. So the rabbi and the ad man. So I'm guessing that is he saying like an advertiser? What is this? Because Okay, so this is how you read it. Okay. So this one is the one that's played the most. Wait, no, second most. First one's your smile. Let's see.
You just tapped me to say
That piano's a little stronger.
you couldn't leave me this way. Oh, you just tapped me to say, hey, you wouldn't leave me. I could see your smile from a mile away. And night or day, I can see your.
Like, I mean, this. Oh, so okay, no, it's a cat. If it was a dog, that would make me that would kind of make me laugh because of the episode. But I mean, he just sounds like a folk singer. I don't know what else to say.
Games, changes, and fear.
Oh, is this a cover? This under hashtag covers. Why is he so quiet here?
We should be together, babe. We're not.
Okay, let's see what rock sounds like from him. I think he learned to cut out like the beginning silence. Why does it have a different name in this one? Oh. So first is strumming. Okay, it seems like it's building to something. Maybe. It's gonna be mainly instrumental, I guess. He sang? Is that... Okay, that kinda hurt. Okay. Okay, this one I'm not really... Okay, that one kind of sounds like shit to me, but maybe it's just the genre. Okay, let's see what his punk rock sounds like. Is this his dog? Did he have a dog at this time? This is 8 years ago. So far, I think he's not bad. I just don't know if he's like, you're definitely gonna win that grant, bro. This doesn't sound like punk rock. This sounds fine. Like, most of these sound like kind of fine, but they're not like, I need this on my playlist right now, I guess.
Give me a
And I do like folk stuff. Okay, this is okay. The beat's getting better. I like this one. Okay, I actually like this one. I have no idea what he's saying.
You're impersonally dedicated, unappreciated.
I guess this part for me. A lot of it is the like, yeah, that's what it is. Like there's like bits there that make sense, and then it's just kind of almost meandering. But it's not like Guitar Man. You saw Guitar Man, right? Where he couldn't like even play a song whenever Caleb asked him to. Because I was like, Guitar Man was bad. Like, this is like your fan fiction. What do you write fan fiction on? No pressure. Told. Yeah, no, he was bad. Did you not see it? Or if like I can show you it right now. I can probably like find it pretty quick. But honestly, I'm somewhat disappointed that it's not as bad as I was kind of hoping it would be here. Like even the rabbi one, it kind of sounds
This is one of those story
like the
songs
opening
that
one doesn't
it's a
sound like
story.
that.
Rabbi and a madman, and they were walking to a bar.
Like this one might be one of the better ones. I don't know what the metaphor is because I can't really understand what he's saying. But otherwise, it sounds like fine. Yeah, because it's okay. Wanted to also go over. I'm not sure like how much I can actually add to this. I don't think he's gonna take it down because it looks like he's not like getting like bombarded with like comments or anything, so that's good. He's still relatively under the radar. But if you want to check out his stuff, it's Brent Davey. But I think I might try out another thing because I also wanted to talk about yeah, he's not yeah. No, I agree. And it seems like they got better in terms of like the production value over time because sometimes you just can't hear him on some of these. But I think I'm gonna move on to. I also wanted to try out this other one because there's like this like Doomer, and I kind of wanted to talk about his thing because I wanted to see if he's like because I've seen some of his stuff and it's like, bro, this is I don't think it's that deep. Like it's bad, but it's not that deep. And I wonder if it's gonna be one of those again. So I kind of wanted to look at this too.
From the American dream that it's hard to believe it ever really
'Cause
existed.
I
It
don't
used to be
know.
a simple formula. If you got a good education and worked hard at your job, you'd have enough left over to support a family and see you through to the end. Today it's all fallen apart. Forgetting owning a home you'd be proud
Okay, how's
of or
that?
building anything meaningful. You'll be lucky to even retire at all. Over the past few decades, every single
is your
part of the
justification for
American
that?
dream has been stripped away. So let's find out how it happened and why you'll probably never get to retire and the solution to this. Kids growing up
Okay, he
50
does
years ago
propose
had
a
a pretty
solution,
easy
okay.
time planning out the rest
I
of their
thought generally he
lives.
doesn't.
It all began with a good education.
Maybe it was just the
Didn't
ones I was
necessarily
watching.
mean going to college either. For most people, a high school diploma was enough to almost guarantee them a good place in society. You've probably heard about what
Okay.
it used to be like. Nearly every job was well paid enough to support a family on just one income. Anyone with
I don't
enough discipline to
know
put
if that
in the
was
work
true.
could afford a house
That doesn't
large
sound
enough to
right.
be a family home. Once you were in your 60s, you most likely paid off your house, and your pension would be good enough to comfortably retire. But right now, it seems hard to believe that someone like a mailman would enjoy that kind of luxury of wealth. And it's not just nostalgia talking.
Client to creator relationship is crucial.
Does he
We
have, like,
all
the
know
data
that one
for
person
this?
that sounds extremely boring and a little too serious.
In 1974, the average postal worker in the US made between $9,500 to $12,000 a year as a basic salary. That didn't include a
Okay.
cost of living adjustment, double pay on holidays, and tons of other benefits. In total, you could clear $15,000 to $16,000 in a good year, and the average
Oh
home
yeah,
back then was around $36,000. Just 2.5
maybe.
years of wages could buy one outright. Or you could spend a couple of decades living comfortably while you paid off the mortgage. But it's a different story today.
Yeah, definitely the
Even the
market's
most
flooded with
well-paid
education.
mailman earning $60K a year would have to work nearly 3 times as much to afford the same home. These essential jobs, which are necessary for society to keep on functioning, just aren't worth aiming for anymore. What should be a good, respectable career barely allows you to survive. In lots of cities in the US, it would be impossible to even scratch out a living working one of these blue-collar jobs. So people
Mm,
adapted and the bar got higher. Nowadays, a college degree or years of specialist
it
training is
depends
the
on what
bare
you're talking about.
minimum to find a
What
place
type of
in the
blue collar?
dwindling middle
Because if
class.
you got
On
like a
average, people
skill,
with
then that's different.
degrees earn over 30,000 more than those who only went to high school. But even then, it's no guarantee of success. It doesn't factor in the massive amounts of debt college will put you in, a debt you could be paying off for decades to come. With so many more graduates, there's more competition than ever for a relatively
I
small
mean,
amount of well-paying jobs as well. It's why companies have become
I
so ruthless
guess.
and uncaring with how they find their employees. When every job they post gets
I mean,
tens or
it's
hundreds of
also like
applicants,
there's the internet now, so it makes it so easy to just filter people out and just not necessarily see them as people.
they can afford to be choosy. Today, nearly all companies use automated systems to reject most of the
Yeah, definitely.
applications before anyone else ever reads them. If you don't have the experience or put enough keywords in your CV, it's already over. It's put tons of
Yeah, no, I'm that's what I'm that's what I figure. I think because I think generally he just like goes all doom and uh he goes all doom and gloom and then I guess says like I don't I'm curious what his solution's gonna be, but it's probably just gonna be like, oh, tear down the system type thing instead of oh, just be financially responsible and do what you can.
people in a
I don't
situation
know.
where they need experience to get a job in the field, but can't get a job without the experience to begin with. 50
I
years
mean,
ago, a high school
that's
diploma
annoying, but some degree it's just any job experience depending on what you're talking about. Though honestly, I think the biggest thing is it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's networking that gets you stuff. I
was
don't know.
enough to put you on the path to a comfy retirement. Today, you might have a college degree and you might be lucky enough to land what should be an exceptional job. But even with all of this, you're still going to be hard pressed to retire before your body simply
Why?
gives up. It's simply a consequence of the fact
How's
that
that?
companies don't value their employees anymore. They don't need to, because today there's always someone waiting to
Which
take your place if you
which company are you going to though? Because generally, if you're talking like tech and stuff, they're very competitive with each other to try to keep their employees.
don't like the deal they're offering. A lot of these problems have come from there being way more people in the labor market. Now, there's
Yeah, put yourself near the job slash people you want to become. Yeah, definitely,
a
definitely.
bunch of reasons for this, but immigration is one. All kinds of immigrants, both legal and illegal, add more supply to the market. For lots of jobs, they're desperately needed. Western healthcare systems and other
You
vital
know,
industries pretty much run on migrant labor. It's gotten to a point where 20% of the UK's NHS staff
wait, I thought he was talking about the U.S. Why is he talking about? Why is he talking about England?
are
I
first
thought
generation
his thesis statement was you can't retire in. Huh.
immigrants. For other industries,
Yeah, that's yeah, no, he's doing that. He's unironically doing the South Park bit. But I think generally they don't, though. Don't they generally take the jobs that people don't want or generally aren't as qualified for? I don't know. To some degree,
though,
we'll
the
see.
swelling of the labor pool means wages fall or stay stagnant. But it's
There's
not
also the thing if you're like tech jobs and things like that. Generally, it's helpful to have two different people working in different time zones so that you're doing like even more work
just people
for like
moving into the
efficiency
country that's
purposes.
making things this bad in the job market. It's companies moving their operations out of the country. So-called offshoring has almost completely destroyed entire industries. Manufacturing, mining, pretty
Maybe
much
like
anything that isn't a
specific.
service industry left the West long ago. 60% of companies
Yeah,
outsource
that's a
work
specific
abroad. Over
thing.
14 million jobs that aren't in the US anymore. Even if it makes the
Okay.
customer experience much worse, or leads to an inferior product.
That was her being a Karen. What? They take the jobs we don't want, or they take very technical jobs they are trained to do. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Huh.
product. If it's cutting costs down, then they're happy to do it. With so many other options, it isn't surprising that companies don't care about keeping their employees around anymore. It used to be the case that companies would reward their employees if they stayed in the job. You could build a whole career
I will
rising
say
up the ranks
that's
of a single
fair.
company.
Generally, because they don't have the loyalty things anymore, they're generally more concerned about offering benefits to the people who are coming in new now, and that's why people like ping pong around jobs all the time is just to get better and better offers. So,
And getting richly rewarded for never leaving. They needed you back then, it was just how it worked. Some companies still operate like this today, but not many. The benefits of a loyal, skilled
which thing in particular are you bringing up Intel for? Like, I know, like, trying to know that Intel like crashed recently, but
workforce don't show up on balance
I don't know if they
sheets.
came
They
back
might
up
have
or
much more
what you're
efficient ways
talking
of
about
doing
specifically.
things, skills gained from
Please welcome President Ronald Reagan, who has a few questions for you.
years or decades of experience. But because you can't measure something like that, it's hard for a company to know what it had until it's gone. So managers and executives looking to pinch pennies neglect their duties to their employees.
Oh, oh yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Sometimes they just fire them or outsource their work, but a lot of the time they just don't give them the right motivation to stay. It's been a long process spanning for decades, but we can see the results of it now. It's ridiculously more lucrative. It's become so normal for people to jump ship every few years. First, there's
Yeah,
the
no,
problem
that's
with how hard it
what
can
people
actually
do
be to
now.
climb the ladder at most giant companies. Before, when single jobs used to pay enough to let you and your family live comfortably, it was different. If you didn't want to, you didn't have to climb the ranks to make a good life. But now that the only top positions promise that kind of safety, you're almost always forced to keep climbing or searching for something new, always in a limbo state
You're
of
not like
insecurity.
forced, depending on what job you're talking about. Like you can be comfortable at a place, but if you just want to like climb faster, you might want to ping pong. But you don't have to ping pong. There are, or at least it depends on what career you're in, because that really depend. A lot of this depends on that, like how stable your environment is and that type of stuff. I'll admit that it's probably harder to retire when it's not stable, just because planning's harder. But I
Never
don't
knowing
know.
if you'll get another paycheck. Today, it's far harder to convince your current boss to give you a raise compared to convincing a new company to give you a better starting salary.
What
Workers
is
who
that
stay
based
with
on?
their current jobs for over 2 years earn a staggering 50% less on average than those who switch employers.
Yeah, no, this is
It's
a ping
created an
ponging thing that you need
environment
to
that
do
rewards jumping ship,
if you
as
really want
companies
to make
don't care
more
about
money.
keeping people on either. They'll have no problem firing people who put 20 or 30 years of work for them, as you're just names and numbers on a
Yeah,
spreadsheet anyway. It's an especially big problem for people who are towards the end of their careers, as it's much
fair
harder for
enough.
them to convince other companies to hire them. All of these things have made having
Yeah, it's basically all tech. That's what it seems like. Yeah.
a job today like treading water. If you don't keep moving, it seems like you'll drown. Even with job hopping though, wages just aren't what they were. Today you'll be lucky if your raise even matches the inflation rate. For decades, wage
Okay.
growth remained steady, keeping up with everything else, but since then it's been a very different story. Now it's not like people are doing less work, in fact the opposite is usually the case. Productivity has steadily risen for the past 80 years. Improvements in technology, efficiency, and a larger workforce have made sure of that. We aren't any less hardworking than previous generations. Productivity has only gone up while wages have remained stagnant. From 1948 to 1973, the two stats were in lockstep, both rising by about 90%. Since then, productivity went up another 70%,
But also, like, what about the quality of life? This is, I feel like I've heard this argument before. Yeah, I think it's true that the difference between the productivity and the compensation. Okay. Hmm. I don't know.
hourly wages for employees only rose by a measly 10%. No matter what people say online, in truth, we're not really any less hardworking than before. So where's all the money gone? It's no coincidence that we've got so many more billionaires than ever before. The top
Okay.
1% have seen their wages grow by nearly 140%, almost 14 times more than the regular person. People who actually keep society running. Which means there's simply less money to go around and therefore less money to save for
I don't know
retirement
about
or ever
that.
put in a pension. But even the pensions are worse today. It was recently discovered that 9 out of 10 pension schemes in the UK are
Why are we talking about? I thought he was talking about specifically the US. Why does he keep on going to the UK? Don't they have very different systems? Or at least different economies?
perform worse than the FTSE All-Share Index, which tracks the top 600 companies on the London stock market. They've become yet another thing for the finance industry
Why do
to
we
suck
keep on
money out
flip-flopping
of,
here?
and when they get their bets wrong, it's the regular people who suffer the consequences. And it just means less money for when you can't work anymore. And that's if that day ever comes, as the state pension isn't much these days, but it's still higher than wages. However, governments across the West have been raising the retirement age, even taking that pittance
Okay,
away
yeah.
from the scores of hardworking people. In France, it got raised recently to 64, but that's actually generous compared to other countries. In the UK, it's 66, and it's gonna
Is
go
it
up
partially because of, like, age expectancy, though, to kind of make up for people living longer? And then there's also, like, the baby boomers are gonna be, like, a wave. So they're probably just trying to, like, hold off the flood that's coming. We are compensated more than the chart probably suggests. Pre-1980, we didn't have Roth accounts or 401ks and stuff. Yeah, that's fair. 'Cause I'm trying to remember. I know that I've heard an argument against this, against that chart in a way, because there's like there was something missing from the chart, but I don't remember what it was.
up even more. In the US, it's 67. However, before we continue, I want to tell you about our video sponsor, Odoo. You see, recently I've been
Down
using
with
Odoo for my own
corporations, except for
website to
this
promote
one.
the YouTube channel and school community, and it's one of the best website builders I've ever used. But what's really great about Odoo is that it's much more than that. Today, by using the link
We've got passion, we've got
But also,
determination.
with the
Like, and if we set our
productivity
sights on
thing-
something, you better believe it's happening.
in
But
the
also,
description
isn't like productivity like a lot higher than the 80s based on like how computers have grown too? It's not just like human labor necessarily. That makes sense. I don't know.
and their retirements is through their homes. Homes used to be much cheaper, as we saw earlier. They were simply a way for people to build a life, and the market treated them that way. Since then though, house prices have only risen, making their investments worth many times what they initially paid, even after accounting for inflation. If they
It's 'cause
bought
of
early,
supply and
then all
demand,
their
though?
housing money didn't just go to some landlord
more
or some
people need
corporation
houses?
like it does for young people today. Instead, it was yet another way they were directly investing in their future and their retirement. Back then, the principal was small, so it wasn't long before their entire mortgage was paid off for the house, something that's almost impossible for
Was it like actually small when you account for stuff? And if so, what was like the supply and demand type stuff? I mean, automations as a whole, better tools. Yeah, they barely had power steering pre 1980. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like the technology plays a large part in in the productivity too. So I feel like that would make the productivity like shoot up,
most young
and it
people
would be kind of hard for wages to keep up with that. I don't know.
today. Often these homeowners are the ones supporting laws that make building new homes much harder. Enemies of change in any form, they block the building of new homes in fear of the people who might end up living in them. It's a selfish move pushed forward by a small minority
Is
of
that
people,
true?
but it means that barely any new homes are getting built. After benefiting greatly from the opportunities they had, they've closed the door behind them. But it's not really people who own just one home that
don't
are
know
behind
about
the
this one.
ludicrous rise in house prices.
Like I could see like people abusing power, but I don't know if that can explain everything.
Instead, it's the way that corporations and businesses have used them as financial investments. Over the past 50 or so years, the housing market transformed. It used to be a way for people to get a roof over their heads and build their own lives, but now it mostly
Okay.
exists as yet another place to store money. Tons of that excess wealth made by the increase in productivity has found its way there. Corporations buy up homes and either rent them out at insane prices or just leave them
Okay.
empty while their value goes up. And it all worked out for the people who bought a home a few decades ago, but now it's a big part of their retirement plans. If they ever need money, they can simply downsize once the kids have moved out and pocket the differences, which is often
Okay.
hundreds of thousands of dollars. But it's those who were never rich enough to own a home to begin with, or people entering the market today, that are suffering the costs of this. With how crazy the ratio between wages and house prices has gotten, lots of people will never be able to afford to buy. They'll be stuck renting, watching thousands and
I really don't
thousands
know
of
about
dollars
this.
go into someone
More of a push for not building multifamily homes than single if you're looking at zoning restrictions. Okay. Okay. Like like duplex type stuff? Because that would make more sense with like efficiency. Yeah, no, it seems like it could be an infrastructure issue. Because I don't think everything's just, oh, evil corporation. Not that I necessarily am like, ooh, corporations do no wrong, but I don't know if you can really make that simple. Yeah, no, that would make more sense in terms of, like, efficiency.
someone else's bank account. Rent prices along with housing prices have massively increased. It's something that's only gotten worse with time. The biggest rise in rents has happened recently and there's no signs that that's going to stop. Between 2019 and 2023, the average rent went up by over
Are you gonna
30% across the US.
are they
They've
gonna propose, like, keeping rent below a certain price? Because when I think that would have, like, catastrophic repercussions, wouldn't it?
outpaced
I
wages
don't know.
across this same time period in 44 of the 50 largest cities in the US, which is yet another example of something that's only gotten more expensive in comparison to pay. Rent, food, utility bills, all the essentials have generally gotten more expensive compared to wages. While wages are beginning to catch up to some things like food prices, it's too little too late. 6 out of 10 Americans feel like the economy is in recession, but unfortunately it might just
Okay.
be the new normal. It's because people have been pushed out of the system entirely. Most people's finances are in bad shape, whatever the stock market might look like. Even if it does go up by a
But,
percentage
like, why though? Like, I feel with, like, the Caleb thing, we see, like, a micro scale of people, like, expecting a lifestyle that they can't afford. I don't know.
points or two, they don't feel it. People are being squeezed so hard that they can't get the funds together to save for the future. A staggering 78% of Americans now live paycheck to paycheck,
I
scraping
don't
together
know how many need to, though. Like, I have family members who are living paycheck to paycheck mainly because of, like, the choices that they choose to make. It's a dream to have 3 lampposts at 23. You know what? You can achieve that dream right now. Go to GTA. They'll all be digital, but you can get them.
what they can to survive. For lots of people, it's only getting worse. Over 50 million are now using food banks. 12 million rely on predatory payday loans just to see themselves through the week. And what's going to happen when all of these people start entering retirement without anything saved for the future? It's these kinds of societal conditions that pave the way to tyranny, as when people go hungry and they don't have enough for their families, it builds anger and resentment. And we're
Oh,
already
boy.
quickly getting to a place where there's no point for honest working people to still have faith in a system that has trodden them over and over again. And with more and
Yeah.
more people coming into the
See, this is more
West,
the
more
doomer
pressure
stuff.
on government
We're Inspira, your provider of health, wealth, retirement, and benefit solutions.
services, a massively
I
aging
stumbled upon this guy on YouTube one time, and I, like, binge watched some stuff, and it's like, bro, like, it's bad, but it's not, like, that bad.
population that won't be sustainably lifted by Generation Z, it will cause massive tension in the West. And without any hope, people will do anything and support anyone who says they can make
Is that
things better,
I think
no
that's
matter
V
the
for
cost.
Vendetta?
Right now, the left
No, wait,
pretty
no.
much ignores that this
Is
is
that the
happening,
wall? It might have been the wall.
pretending that everything is normal. Meanwhile, the right seems to co-opt this anger and tries to use it for their own purposes. But as we'll see, neither side of the spectrum is ready to deal with the massive societal changes that are about to take place. Automation is
Yes.
coming. It doesn't matter how many people will lose their jobs, it's an unstoppable economic truth. We've already seen
That's
it
probably
happen
true, at
time and
least.
time again. Nearly everyone who used to work in agriculture, each person could only really make enough food to feed themselves and a few others. With automation, this all changed. Now only around 10% of the US works in agriculture. In countries with far less farmland, like in the UK, it's only 1%. As technology progressed, new jobs stepped
I
in to
mean,
fill the gap. Most people moved from
because
farms to the
agriculture became so efficient, you didn't need to do that anymore. Yeah, he's gonna do the robot uprising. I mean, yeah. Is that what we're talking
factories, but
about?
more recently, these
How do you
jobs have been
stop the
drying out
robots?
fast as
But
well.
what is your
Most of
plan?
the factories in the West closed long ago, and today they're on the brink of extinction because of automation. It was the reason for 88% of factory
Well, now things are just more efficient, so we can get a lot of the same stuff for cheaper.
jobs that vanished between 2000
'Cause I think that I swear that it might have been quality of life that was the thing that was missing on that chart, where, like, quality of life is generally decently high. but I could be
in
wrong.
2010, and now we're facing an even greater shift in the fabric of society. While AI still has its quirks and can be a great resource for many people,
Yeah, we're
it
talking
also
about
has a
AI
very
again.
dark
Okay.
potential in some ways to wipe out jobs of millions across the economy. But it won't just be factory workers this time, although their jobs are still under threat. The main
What are you gonna
casualty
do?
will be the transportation industry. Driving in some way or another is still the most common job in 29 states. So far, it's been impossible for companies to replace them, but that won't last long forever. Soon,
Yeah.
AI will be able to replace drivers
Well,
entirely.
even then, I think generally you'd still need like a backup driver in case if something happens. They'll probably be really bored, but I think that you're supposed to have a backup driver with your automated truck. Yeah, quality of life is way up. It's why life expectancy is rising so much. Yeah, and then yeah, but
Already in
the
place
life expectancy kind of has like drawback thing where you probably have to work longer so that our system won't collapse if we try to pay for you.
like California, you're starting to see driverless cars. And not just cars, but actual taxis and Ubers. And in tests, automated trucks have been able to detect and avoid obstacles with incredible precision and speed. And the companies
Okay.
pushing this forward expect to have whole fleets of autonomous trucks in just 3 or 4 years' time. Now, of course, this has many benefits. And it has even more benefits for most of the companies. No driver means no wages to pay, and
You're
AI
still gonna
systems
need a
don't get
driver,
tired, so
though.
they
I
don't
thought that
have
was
to take
part of it.
breaks, which means your parcels can be there quicker, prices
Yeah.
can be cheaper, and once the technology is sound,
Yeah.
trucks will be far safer for other vehicles. However, there are still some kinks to figure out, like how well they perform in wet conditions
You
in
know,
busy cities.
I'm not talking about like the people who don't actually like save for retirement thing is where they're trying to push them. Like, because you can, it just depends on what you need to survive with your retirement. You can, in theory, retire in your 40s as long as you have enough, and if you can like live off the interest of your investments.
Or even uneven terrain, but we'll see them on the main highways very soon. And because of this, they could end up replacing over 90% of the 500,000 long-haul truckers working
not
in the
sure about
US right
that.
now. But it isn't just the transportation industry either. Tons of office jobs related to data entry or admin work will disappear. The legal industry and the healthcare industry will have tons of jobs replaced, because ultimately AI is better than most people. I mean, it's better than most doctors at spotting signs of cancer in scans, for example. Call centers
no,
already
man.
make you talk to a chatbot at the first point of contact. Some estimates put the amount of jobs lost to AI in the relatively near future at 300 million, up 1/5 of all jobs by 2050. So what
Well-
happens to all of the people who do it?
But will there just be like a new type of job that'll be taking that place? I don't know. Yeah, you're always gonna need an expert to oversee AI. Because I think even with the car things, they say that I think they generally say that you still are going to need to have someone there just in case. And I feel like there might be more jobs in like hand holding AI. Like I already see like a bunch of jobs of like, oh, train AI stuff. I don't know. I feel like it might
eventually
just
get
open up an
replaced. Now,
industry
most of them
too.
aren't going to fit into another role in society. These aren't people who are going to learn how to code and design these systems, which are the only jobs that AI can really create. Ironically, that's a job that will soon be replaced as well. Now, there is the argument that the jobs technology takes will also create new jobs and replace
Probably.
those. When people stopped using horses as their main mode of transport, cars created a whole new industry to replace them. But we don't know if this will always
This is like when architects started using CAD and people said the computers should just plan the whole building when it's just a tool to help you. Yeah, no, that makes sense actually.
be the case. The jobs related to AI are far more complicated than most people can handle. It takes natural talent and years of study to even get started with them. For the first time, the machines that are replacing jobs are smarter than we are. And whilst this has a bunch of benefits, in terms of making our
don't
lifestyles so
think
much
we're there
easier
yet.
and better with AI, there's the worrying thought of what if we can't keep up with it, as this will mean even less money in the pockets of regular people, which brings us back around to retirement. With all of these jobs soon to be replaced, the people
I
working
mean,
them
if
will
we're in
have
like peak productivity from all the AI stuff, wouldn't everything just get like super cheap?
lost their ability to survive even while they're still young and healthy. Never mind what they'll do when they're too old or too sick to do any kind of work. We've seen that over the past 50 years, the world has become less designed for people and more for machines and the profit they make. The economy will eventually recover from the chaos of the past 2 decades.
You're using freaking Blade Runner.
But we
Dude.
won't see the benefits. It'll take a complete shift in the way the economy is run for current generations to even dream of retiring.
Oh, okay, the Matrix too. Of course he's
But
using
we'll
the
have to wait
Matrix.
and see whether people in society can actually cope with it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, things are comparatively cheap. Wait, I thought that he said that he'd have a solution.
Works on this acne.
Hi. Who? I'm a licensed dermatology provider from.
What the hell was the solution? You didn't have one. You just said, like, things are bad, things are bad, things are bad. It's just, I feel like this is all just society bottom text. What else does he have?
Imagine if you lived
Hmm. By ammo. I don't even know if he believes in that. He's in the U. Because he might just be in the UK. I don't think they're allowed to do that. Okay. The boys? Really? Okay. Okay. See, like, everything's just doomer. Tiny knives. Just get really good at throwing them. Yeah, that'll work. Because you also can't have, like, the blade, um, longer than, like, a certain amount just because they have so many stabbing things. Because that kinda shows whenever you, whenever you ban something, someone's just gonna find an alternative. I'm kind of curious about this one. Let's see if
If
it
one
gives
trend of
incel energy.
2023 shows how far we've fallen, it was the bar.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it was that small as 3 inches. I think in some states it's like over here it's like 6 inches. So I wouldn't be surprised if in like the UK it's like 3. But let's see how incel this is. They might be right though.
Barbie Botox. Named after the toy's signature long neck, the procedure spread like wildfire on Instagram after the release of the film. A series of injections to the trapezius
Okay, so are we talking about like okay, but so maybe it's not incel stuff. Maybe it's like perception ruining things,
muscles
which
in the
is
neck renders them
it's
unable to
true
contract,
to some
which
degree.
lowers your shoulders and makes your neck look slightly longer. Despite the risk of muscle paralysis and severe pain, thousands of people rushed out to get this hot new treatment. But this is a very recent phenomenon. No one did this in the past. No movie made people do this kind of thing. And that's when you realize that the Barbie Botox is just the tip of a massive iceberg, a trend that's hiding behind the surface. You see, the plastic surgery industry has been booming for years off the back of Instagram and TikTok. Invasive procedures go in and out of fashion every month. As a young, impressionable audience goes from one insecurity to
I feel
another.
like there's a general comparison thing, because I wouldn't be surprised if there was also like some increase in trying to like change your looks and stuff with like the rise of like TV and
to them
stuff.
by Instagram's algorithm. Meanwhile, celebrities and influencers work hand in hand with the industry, making promotional posts and boasting about their procedures and the results. As new procedures dip in and out of fashion, influencers target people's mental weaknesses and make a fortune drumming up clients for the industry. And now that plastic surgery is growing fastest among young adults,
How much is him just actually just like reading the first bit? What is mewing? I keep on hearing it. All I think of is the Pokemon. What is mewing? Do I need to look up what mewing is? Is it safe for work?
looking to replicate the inhuman perfection they see on the app,
Like, I've seen people like hitting themselves. I've seen like dudes like hitting themselves with hammers and say that it's gonna like fix their jawline. Oh, okay. Okay. That's weird. Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
time we really expose how
Yeah, because it's an everybody thing. It's not just chicks. I think it's mostly chicks because of like evolution
Instagram
stuff.
is
I don't
quite
know.
literally changing the face of the world. At the time of its founding, it would have been nearly impossible to predict the rise of Instagram into one of the biggest social media apps in the world. But looking back, it's easy to see that all the right ingredients were there for massive success. It all goes down to the founders Kevin Systrom and Mike Krieger. The pair originally met while studying at Stanford, and even before they had started their careers, they were being headhunted by the big names in tech. Kevin Systrom even turned down an internship at Facebook to spend time studying photography in Italy. Kevin Kevin would go into Internet Audio, a small app which would later become Twitter,
Dude,
and
reminds
afterwards
me
he
of
would then
something.
get headhunted by Google and worked there for 2 years. But even after a short time in the industry, Kevin was frustrated. He had just been passed up for a promotion and was sick of the culture of the company, and went against all the original ideas of Silicon Valley. Kevin wanted to fully throw himself into a
Why is that that's the beginning of every Silicon Valley story? Oh, and he wanted to start a culture that's totally different. But that totally different culture is the same as every other culture. It makes me think of like WeWork and stuff like that. It's dumb. Yeah. No, I agree with that.
creative idea and
But the
exploiting
women are just
opening
more
in the
likely to
market
spend
by
money
building something
on
of his
it.
own.
But it
Kevin
isn't
knew his
everybody
old
thing.
college friend Mike was just as ambitious as he was, and so
And
he
it's also like a personality thing too, because it also depends on like who you are. Because like I generally don't care about the appearance stuff, but I know like people who
thought he would
are,
explain his vision
and I feel like it goes that way with both genders.
for a new app. Something he would tell Forbes in an interview a few years later. Mike Krieger and I created Instagram because we wanted a way to communicate visually. We realized that we'd be taking all these photos with our iPhones that would sit on our camera roll, and it felt like they should be seen, not necessarily because they were good photos, but because a photo that no one sees isn't really that interesting. Every
I
photo you
guess.
take communicates something about a moment in time,
But I
a
thought it was
brief
more for
slice
your
of
own
time of where you
memories.
were,
But
who you were with,
I guess if
and
you
what
wanted
you
to
were
show
doing.
something.
And funnily enough, their idea would prove to be one of the most lucrative ideas of the 21st century. Kevin and Mike immediately got to work on Instagram, pouring everything they had into
This
this
is
new
a
app.
dude
And in
remind me,
just
I
2
swear.
weeks, they had already secured $500,000 of funding from investors and were starting to get it ready to launch to the public. But it still wasn't easy. It took the pair a year of work to get everything ready, but they still weren't prepared for what would happen next. Now, there was plenty of interest in the app, and they could tell this from the demos. And so as soon as they launched the app, within just the first week, Instagram had gained over 100,000 users in 2010. This was the highest amount of users gained for any single
Okay, I
social
guess
media app in history. The service for
that
the app and
really-
the infrastructure wasn't
that's
enough
really-
to keep up with the massive influx of users.
I don't know if that
The
feels
new
like too
company that
young
barely
or
had
too
anyone
old
working
for
for
the
it had
company.
already far exceeded expectations, and so they
I
would have
wasn't
to
expecting
invest tons
2010.
back in just to keep the app functional, with back-end tweets and more processing power. And so the first year was just a mad rush to keep up with the user base, with Kevin and Mike sacrificing everything in their lives to keep it afloat. But just when they thought they had gotten on top of the growth, there would be more crashes
swear,
and
this
more
guy, like,
problems
looks
to
like an
deal with.
internet
But as time
personality,
went
but I
on,
just can't
and they
tell you which
streamlined
one.
the process, their hard work was
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
This is America's border czar, and she's
richly rewarded.
I don't know why I get the ads that I do, because maybe they're just spending more money on it right now, because I technically tell YouTube not to, like, track my shit.
You see, investors
But-
saw this and knew they had
I
to
don't
get
know.
a piece of the pie. In less than 2 months after its launch, the app already hit 1 million users, and Instagram was injected with $7 million of investor funding,
Let's see what else
particularly
he
through
has.
System Silicon Valley connections. And users just loved how you could make your photos look
Imagine
so
if
much
you
better
lived
than
through
other
that
apps
where
like
you were-
Facebook.
There we
And
go.
the key here was filters. Brought in relatively early on to make up for the poor quality of smartphone cameras at the time, the introduction of various photo filters would prove revolutionary. With the touch of a button, users could iron out their wrinkles, cover up any blemishes, and transform their mundane experiences into picturesque moments. What was meant as a
also really
simple
need the
fix
history
for
of
the
the company
lacking
if you're just
technology
gonna-
of the time took on a life of its
Oh,
own.
yeah.
Filters gave
That's-
Instagram an
that's
air of
based.
perfection and artistic expression that transcended the
Yeah,
dull,
no, all
boring
politicians
photos your
tend to suck.
relatives were posting on Facebook.
Because if you're the type of person that I'd want to be leading, you wouldn't want to be a politician. Because if you want power, generally I don't want you to be a politician. But those are going to be the people running to be
Time.
politicians.
Although Kevin and Mike could never have foresaw what they had really created and how this would be used in the future. But at the same time that Kevin and Mike were building the photo app of the future, something else was going on. Other people were laying the groundwork for an entirely different way to push past the limits of natural beauty. Now, if you're going to blame anyone for the massive rise in plastic surgery, then you'd have to talk about people like the Kardashians. They were unique
Wasn't it,
among
like, already a
celebrities
thing
at the
before
time
them,
because
though?
they truly offered nothing except for their image and their lifestyle. Coming to fame in 2007 after her viral sex tape, Kim
Yeah.
and the gang went on to hold their 15 minutes of fame and stretched it out over multiple decades. Kim
What
and her
happened?
family's signature look exploded onto modern culture and still has an effect on beauty standards today. The modern world's obsession
Yeah.
with full lips, big butts, and stenciled eyebrows is in large part thanks to
I hate the stenciled eyebrows. I think it just looks like shit. And I have friends who do it, and I just don't tell them. I think it looks like shit.
them. Of course, the image they sold to the world so easily didn't really bear any relation to reality. First, as you can probably guess, there's all the cosmetic surgeries and procedures they've gone through to get there, then countless layers of makeup, professional photography, and Photoshop are added on. But out of thousands of those photos, only a select few are chosen to be shown to the public. Before the rise of social media, this kind of deception was
I
only
wouldn't be
available to the
surprised.
rich and famous.
I
Even
think
their
this
own
guy. These are like the things that everybody says, but that's not necessarily all true.
influence alone has a huge effect on the cosmetic
I
surgery
feel like
industry.
there's
When a
things that came
17-year-old
before that could
Kylie
also
Jenner
be
boasted of getting lip fillers to
uh,
achieve her signature look, online searches
be
for the
argued.
procedure went up by over 3,000%. The so-called Brazilian butt lift procedures have only grown in popularity thanks to Kim and her family. The procedure involves a surgeon taking fat deposits from elsewhere on the body and then transferring them to the buttocks. Between 2000 and 2018, the amount of butt lift procedures has risen by over 250%. Over time though, the procedures fades away and the results disappear, so regular procedures are required to keep it up. Even the Kardashians themselves regretted the procedure in the end, with Kim recently admitting that she'd stopped having her top-ups. The procedure is massively popular, but also incredibly risky compared to other cosmetic surgery. When it goes wrong, people can get nasty infections and
I remember there's this episode of American Greed, and this dude was just injecting like liquid cement into women's butts because of this, and he got so much money off of it.
sometimes require surgery to remove the implants.
Some people
Or if the
died.
fat gets into the bloodstream, it can actually cause embolisms and blockages to vital organs. 1 in every 4,000 people die as a result of the complications, which is what led to the UK banning it in 2018. Eventually, they reversed the decision in 2022 after bringing in new safety regulations, but there's still a whole world of unlicensed practitioners performing a different version of the procedure. While they're not
Yeah, it's
allowed
the
to perform the
unlicensed stuff, I
surgical
guess, that you
version with the
really gotta
potentially fatal side
be worried
effects, they're
about.
still allowed to blindly inject people with artificial substances. It's not like the UK's ban really did anything anyway. The people who were determined enough to get it done were freely able to just go abroad to places like Turkey or Mexico where the procedure is completely legal and often
I guess
mostly
fair enough.
unregulated and far cheaper. Even today there's countless adverts for this all over Facebook and Instagram. But nothing has promoted plastic
Who clicks
surgery
on those,
and
though?
made the world more plastic and fake than it's ever been, like Instagram. The Kardashians might have remained in the background for most people, ending up as has-been stars like so many before them. But instead, their recipe for success based on their looks and their status alone was about to go global. And that was all thanks to Instagram. But how did an innocent photo sharing website become
I
the
don't think this is all an Instagram thing. I think this is just like typical. That's great. Yeah, probably. I mean, it depends on where you go. I feel like this isn't just an Instagram thing. I think it's just like a psychology thing. You have more money to put in the resources thing. So I don't know if it's necessarily an Instagram thing.
money-making machine it is today? The answer is Mark Zuckerberg. You see, Zuck's vision for a social media business was a lot
robot-
different compared to Kevin Systrom or Mike Krieger. While they were thinking about how to make money from people's photos, Mark was interested in commodifying the people instead. Even before Mark started Facebook, he had already demonstrated his true feelings towards his users. While he's rejected that the film The Social Network was true in his account of his website FaceMash,
Right, like they just can't wrap their head around the idea that someone might build something because they like building things.
the evidence shows that it wasn't that far off. Articles from Harvard newspapers show how he plundered Harvard's registers for pictures of people's faces. He then used these to create a website where people could
Interesting.
rank each other on attractiveness, while the backend secretly assigned them their own rating out of 10. While it was quickly shut down, the stunt informed the future development of Facebook to a massive degree. Facebook did the same thing in turning its users into the product, just in a more sinister way. It was all about maximizing engagement for users, whilst plundering all the possible data they could find,
How
and
long
then
is this
selling this to
ad?
advertisers and giving them easy targets for their campaigns
like
was
2
the
minutes.
final step in the profit machine. Whilst these weren't new ideas,
Algorithms,
Zuckerberg
yeah.
perfected them at Facebook.
Security,
a combination
fair
of
enough.
aggressive
Plastic
data
surgery,
hoarding and
okay.
innovative design
Future
practices
plastic
turned
surgery.
Facebook into one of the biggest companies in the planet.
I don't know. The thing is, I feel like because everything's like so bad in his video things, then generally it like makes everything feel like and just kind of desensitizes you to everything if you say that everything is bad. I don't know. Don't know about that, man. That's because they can make money easier, probably. Okay, this sounds like clickbait. Ugh, doubt. Is he in America? Why is he talking about America specifically? Because he sounds like he's like British or Australian or something. $18 Big Mac is real. Um, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised about that. Because like fast food was getting pretty dang bad, and then they're trying to do like the value wars again. So they're kind of trying. But yeah. Well, you're trained to spot the Mickey D's. That's not bad. Yeah, it's just blank dystopia movie tried to warn you. A lot of Marvel stuff. I mean, like, yeah, Marvel's bad now, generally, but I don't know. I think if this was the one where I saw it, where it's just like Blizzard or not Blizzard, Roblox is like pure evil or something. And it's like Roblox has a lot of problems. I just don't. I've never played it, but from like everything that I see from like Turkey Tom things, seems like makes it very easy with the grooming situations. Yeah, no. Still, there are still good things that come out. Like I mostly like Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know. At some points, it felt like too pandery, and like at some points, it's like it was trying to like put a bunch of different movies together into one movie. So and you can feel like that mismatch going on. But it was fun though, and that's like I guess the most important part. It's a very fun movie. But in terms of like some stuff, I'm not 100% sure about how I feel about it still. But it was very fun. And there's nothing wrong with movies just being fun. And I think that's part of the reason why some of the Hollywood stuff kind of sucks now is because they keep on making it a thing. Yeah, no, it did feel like there was yeah, a bunch of different people working on it. Definitely. And yeah, I was trying to be like a bunch of different movies all at the same time. And, and I don't know. I wasn't like the biggest fan of like just kind of resetting Deadpool in a sense with like his girlfriend, just because like every plot has to be it. Oh no. Uh, I want to see the Borderlands movie just because I hear it's bad. I finally started playing Borderlands, and so far I've enjoyed it, even though that I've never really played shooters before. It's just I suck at it, so it takes me forever to get through anything. But like the casting on the Borderlands movie is just weird, and I don't know why they like mashed one and two together. It's- Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not planning to go like all out. Yeah, I imagine it wouldn't be worth the full price. Like how bad is it actually? Is it just like bad because it like was bad for like the universe? Is it just like a bad movie on its own? Is it both? Because it seemed like it just wanted to be like the Jumanji movies, like the new ones, and just failed at it. And like everyone's too old. That's the main things that I saw from the trailers. But other than that, I'm not super sure about that. Yeah. Because I don't know if it's like I like the new Jumanji movies. They they're they're good, like popcorn movies, and they're fun, and the characters are decently likable. And they're like these archetype things, so you don't need to like worry about like ruining a character. I don't know. But it seemed like they tried to like take Jumanji and then try to take like Guardians of the Galaxy and like smush them together and hope to be like this will make like a great movie, at least in terms of like money. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do Borderlands 1 before I go into 2. Even though like I know that people generally talk about 2, but I've just been playing 1 just because I want to get like the full
Imagine
experience.
if you lived in a
Holy cow, how did you make the 1984 thing like 50 minutes long? I mean, American Psycho, Discord's evil. Oh, there's 2 Instagram videos? Are they the same? Did he just remake his own video? Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Ugh. Okay, pre-sequel is your favorite mechanically? Because I did get that. I got it in the pack because I wait for Steam sales to do anything. And it's like, okay, I need to finally play this series. So I got that in the pack. So that's good. But yeah, I do suck ass at the game, but it is fun. Like I suck at everything. Ah, no. What am I doing over here? What am I doing? Probably. I'll probably call it here, unless if there's anything just random that you want to watch. I don't even know if I'm gonna archive this because this is just mainly random, and I kind of want to do more of these just kind of random ones for funsies. And then I can get used to like talking to myself better. Well, also like talking to chat, but it's also like filling dead air practice, I guess. But yeah, I think that's basically everything that I'm not sure. Next time I'll probably do the credit card one. Wait, what? What is that? Is that a Caleb? That's gotta be a Caleb. Over here. Oh, okay. You know which one that is? Or like what they look like? Okay. Do you know what like the name is? Okay, okay. I don't look at card dealership. Let's see if is it this one? Wait, a Dodge Charger. Oh no. Oh, no.
Imagine making $453,000 in a single month as an affiliate marketer.
It's always the
relying
scams on this
Google.
one.
I
Okay.
want to share this video with y'all because I found this myself. See, I did a little bit of research. Actually, I wasn't. I was just scrolling up and down on TikTok. And it's
So it's a TikTok
found its way on my feed because actually I was looking at, all right, y'all want me to be absolutely honest? Shout out to I am Mr. H. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. This is the honest to God truth for how I found this video. All right?
Do you have the original one?
Because somebody sent me a link to Cash Doll. Now, people wanted me to react to a whole Cash Doll situation as far as her and Tracy T. Some of y'all may not be familiar with it, but I just got to give you the context behind how I found this video in the first place.
Okay.
They wanted me to react to the Cash Doll video. Thank y'all to all of the super chats. They wanted me
I'm just going to go here, I guess.
like this before all my life, and I'm not going from a Bentley to a retired cop car. You really don't know who I am, and you're lucky I ain't coming down there to get that ass.
To do what? All right, we're gonna be cold calling Terry back because I found a car that's more in his price range. I don't know who's gonna react to it, but it's worth a shot.
What is going on?
Terry, what's going on, man? Alex with Earth Motor Cars.
Okay.
Hey, brother, what's going on?
Hey, man, just giving you a call back, man, seeing if you've extended your search with the Hellcat anymore, and I just want to let you know that I actually found us a car. It's not a Hellcat, but it is a car that you could pay cash for with the down payment that you wanted to put on the Hellcat. It's a 2018 Dodge Charger SXT.
Let me ask a question before we get into this.
Oh, no.
What is the obsession with Hellcats?
What is a Hellcat?
Charger, Challenger, wide body, 392s, Bumblebees.
What is a Hellcat?
What is the obsession with Hellcats? Why are y'all so wide body?
Okay, so it is a type of Dodge
doing burnouts?
Charger.
I think that it is a decent car.
Or
I think
Challenger.
The interior should have been updated significantly, but that's a whole nother conversation. But the black community is obsessed.
Okay.
It's almost like it's a spirit in that car.
Ah.
The black community is obsessed. It's almost like y'all don't feel like that y'all.
I was gonna say it is a stereotype.
Do the chicks come with it? Do the women come with it? Tony, you said you have no idea. It's fast and it's strong. Trash culture. AD.
There are certain cars associated with
the N-word mobiles, the fastest production car ever.
What did you just say?
It's not the fastest production car ever. Who told you that? It's not the fastest production car ever. That's a lie.
Yeah, I know nothing about cars other than
they fast and furious, body ride.
I know that Toyotas last a while and I like them.
I don't understand. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't like what
I generally know, like,
I'm cool with it. If you want to get a
if a
Hellcat,
car
if
is
you want to get a Charger, Challenger,
I know like
Hellcat,
some of the expensive brands to be
cool,
like
but only if
judgy
you can
if
afford
like
it
someone's
and it makes sense within your budget. But there's an
like
obsession
being
with it where people are willing to
like
sacrifice
paying for a car that they can't
everything.
afford.
They will
But
sacrifice their
I don't
living
know all of
conditions.
them.
They will pay an enormous amount of interest as a result of it. They will absolutely live in their mama's basement as long as they can get a wide body Hellcat. Let's continue on with the call.
It's got 84,000 miles on it, and I could sell it to you for like 20 grand.
I'm sorry, Alex. You said it's a SXT.
Yes, sir. It's a black SXT.
Oh yeah, no,
it's only 20,000.
That's all you need. That's really all you need.
Look, brother. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. First of all, you really don't know who I am, brother. I mean, I'm not going from no Bentley to a retired cop car to a rental car. I'm not going to be rolling around in no $15,000 car. I told you the price ain't really an issue. I can come up with that $10,000, $15,000 easy. I have that cash with me. I just took out a loan to cover the down payment.
No.
He said, I'm not going from no Bentley to a cop car. He said, I got it cash with me. And then he said, I just took out a loan to cover the down payment. Lord Jesus, be offense. Lord Jesus, be offense. This man said, I took out a loan to cover the down payment.
I wish that he put the original video here.
You didn't really have cash.
Oh.
You borrowed the money to put down as a down payment so that you can finance a $100,000 car. Do y'all know how much these cars
40
cost?
credit score.
I looked at them. I went to the Dodge website. Let me go and look at the Dodge website right now.
You think he's making sound financial decisions?
We all on the same page. Maybe I should share my screen. These cars are incredibly expensive. Then I heard that the dealers is marking them up even more.
I wouldn't be like surprised. I mean, car dealerships are infamous for
I
not
heard
being
that
the
the
best for
dealers is marking
customers.
them up even more. These cars are crazy expensive. And when I mean crazy expensive. Let me see what these
Can you
is
like
going
give
for.
me
I
a
want to
number,
make sure that
please?
we all informed here.
Oh, look, it comes in purple. My dad like can't. I'd mark them up if people are paying that much. Yeah, no, economics, man. I don't necessarily blame them, but it's not the most fun to go there. But yeah, my dad would totally go for this purple one. One, he's like obsessed with Prince, and two, he like can't be in anything he considers boring because he's too eccentric for that. But yeah, no, they're luxury items. Go all out. Why not? It's more like the used car stuff
New
that I
lower
don't.
starting
It's just
MSRP.
annoying to
Make
deal
this a
with.
summer event. No monthly payment for 90 days. When financed through Stellantis Financial. Durango offers, whatever, blah, 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 blah. All right. So let's go to the Hellcat. Because I know y'all don't want no Dodge Dart. You don't want the
Yeah,
Dodge Hornet. You
that's
want the
fair, I guess.
big dog, right? You want the Born a Race. Wide body. All right, let's see if we can find it. Shopping tools, vehicles.
If it's like a luxury item,
Challenger,
yeah, no, go for it.
nope. We don't want all of that. We want a Charger. We want Dodge Muscle, actually. Is it Dodge Muscle?
It's like muscle cars just means that they have like a strong engine or something.
Last Call Edition, 392s,
Why does it matter though? I
SRTs.
don't get the car thing.
Where's the
Just
cars
because,
at? Let me see where I can
unless if
find
you
the
like
car. Let's
know a
go shopping
guy who can
tools.
get you on a track,
Search new
what's the point of like having a
inventory.
souped up car?
Challenger. In your area, let's go with
Like I have a
models.
family
We
friend
only want
who's like a car guy, and he
Hellcat
like
wide
loves his truck. He
bodies,
works on it so much.
Hellcat red eye wide bodies. We don't want no scat
Yeah,
packs. We
yeah, I
want
guess
Hellcats. You see
it could be
this?
that. And it could also be if you're like a car guy and you like just like fixing it, like oh yeah,
$93,000 for
the
a Hellcat
if you're
wide body
racing, that's different.
jailbreak.
If you actually have access to do
93,
that.
93, 93, 93. So
But
basically,
if you're
after
just gonna be like stuck
taxes,
in traffic all day,
you're gonna be paying
I don't know what the point
$100,000 a year.
of
Let me
like
see if I
having
can filter
a
this.
super nice car.
Not by distance, high to low.
Or at least
$98,000
a
for a
super fast car.
2023 Charger SRT Hellcat wide body
Oh,
jailbreak. All so you can get it
wow.
stolen, get robbed.
I would have not expected those cars to be that expensive. They don't like
That's
look that
crazy.
nice.
$93,000 for
I mean, the
that?
color is interesting, I guess, but
I'm not going, big dog. I'm not going. Anyways, let's continue. So he took out a down payment. He took out a loan so that he could be prepared to put down a down payment for a $100,000 car.
Pretty recently, so I was ready for you to get me some info on that Hellcat, but here you are.
What do you
trying to diminish me to get an even cheaper car? That's not what I'm looking for.
What do you mean you took out a?
what the hell? This is weird though. The guy is trying to sell him a cheaper car, and he's insisting, no, let me make the bad decision. Let me give you money. It feels so backwards.
You took out a loan to cover the down payment?
Yeah, with my local credit union.
I know, right?
I don't understand
How the
what
hell
you
did he
mean.
get that?
You're financing the $15,000 to $20,000 you have down in the car?
What is the interest rate?
Have, brother. It doesn't matter how I got it, okay?
Oh, it absolutely matters how you got it.
I mean,
Alex, I've told you this before. I bought cars like this before all my life, and I'm not going from a Bentley to a retired cop car. You really don't know who I am, and you're lucky I ain't coming down there to get that ass.
Ooh. 20%.
I've never seen somebody be offended at somebody else trying to get them to do the thing that's responsible for them and their family and their household. He said, listen, man,
Especially
I'm not
for that amount.
downgrading from a Bentley to...
Most people have no clue that in 2024, the best way to make money with Amazon is not by...
I hate to bring up the stereotype, But it's like a thing where like the people who care about luxury items and like getting them are generally not in a good financial decision or position. And generally the people who are in a good financial position don't care if their stuff is beat up. That's generally that's like all the people that I know who are like in tech and stuff, they don't give a shit. They're making good money, but they don't give a shit about like all the expensive stuff. Like 6 months 0 and 20% after. That's how they always do it. And they always like lure you in with 0. I hate the 0
See
stuff.
that I can actually afford to pay this loan money cash for. I want the biggest and the baddest thing that y'all got out here in these streets, and I want you to find it for me.
Bro, to do what?
Boy, you really testing me. This is.
What? Is this real?
I'm not trying to. Listen, I'm trying to offer a solution here.
It's not a solution, is what it is.
Part of me hopes that this is not real.
But you would get into.
I'm not the type of man to do. My days of driving cash cars, $10,000-$15,000 cars is over. I bought Bentleys. I bought all kinds of cars.
Wait.
I mean, I understand that. I'm just saying, with your down payment that you have, Terry, on this car, you could buy this car cash and not have to worry about payments, and they look somewhat similar. I'm really not.
This
trying
is
to
so
give you a
weird.
hard
Why
time.
is he giving him good advice?
You lucky I ain't over there.
I don't know why you have to keep
Yeah,
making comments like
exactly.
that, man. This is just me trying to do my job.
The spending
and
stuff
do
on the stuff that you truly enjoy. Yeah, totally.
Probably provide you with customer service, but
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're just a car salesman. It doesn't matter how I make
Now they start insulting you.
my money.
But he's not
you gotta
selling.
make
He's like trying to. It's weird. He's like anti-selling him.
yours. I completely understand, brother.
Exactly.
That's part of where
but at the same time, I'm trying to almost
Is this
help you a little
real?
bit. I know you don't really need help or want help, but I'm trying to help you get into something to kind of rebuild your credit score up a little bit. So maybe
Was that an 08 Bentley that he was talking about? Hold on, let me see something real quick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I understand that. I'm just
I
saying
can
with,
see that
with
too.
your down payment,
15,000. I bought Bentleys. I bought.
So I
Let's
think it's
see.
an old Bentley that he got for $40,000. You can find them.
Okay.
You can find 08 Bentleys and stuff like that for like $35,000, $40,000. It's not hard to be able to
Oh
get
yeah,
hold
no,
of
that
those
makes
cars.
sense. That makes sense.
Like the old ones,
That's
they
fair.
depreciate over a period of time. They don't hold their value.
Especially
the
if
newer ones
he
is
has a
really,
440.
really nice if you get them
Totally.
new. But the old ones depreciate really, really rapidly.
the cash and not have to worry about payments, and they look somewhat similar. I'm really not trying to give you a hard time. I'm honestly looking.
You lucky I ain't over there.
I don't know why you have to keep making comments like that, man. This is just me trying to do my job and do it properly and provide you with customer service. But
At the end of the day, you're just a car salesman. It doesn't matter how I make my money. You got to make yours. I completely understand, brother.
Exactly. But at the same time, I'm trying to almost help you a little bit. I know you don't really need help or want help, but I'm trying to help you
Just looking for
get
a
into
fight.
something to kind of rebuild your credit score up a little bit. So maybe 3-4 years from.
Ain't nothing need rebuilding, brother.
I mean, Terry, if I remember the last time we spoke, you were a 440. Am I wrong?
So he's dealt with him several
How low
times.
does credit scores get? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't know
curious
they
too.
get that low.
Enlighten me. That is probably the lowest I've ever heard, like ever. And I've watched a lot of Caleb.
Your credit score can get to a 300? I didn't know that. How do you become so negligent to where your credit score can get into a 300? I've never heard of that before in my entire life. Have y'all ever seen somebody with a 300 credit score? Credit scores can go from 300 to 850. Now, I am familiar with the 850. I'm not familiar with the 300. I did not know that credit scores can get into the threes. That is new news to me. I have never seen a credit score in the 440s. A 440 credit score, but you're trying to finance a $100,000 car. Yo, our priorities is shot. Is 100% shot.
Yeah, and I got 40 on my wrist too. You want me to show you the watch I'm wearing right now, brother? Money ain't a
Oh,
problem.
come on, bro.
Okay. I mean, we've taken watches in on trade for cards. Do you want to trade the watch in plus cash? That'll get you closer.
Absolutely, I can do that. That's something I can do for sure. I got a Cartier watch, iced out VS diamonds.
And you paid $40,000.
Trash. Let me tell you something.
Yes, you got it like literally everybody at 300. Like, I guess it's like using all of your credit available to you and just not paying anyone back. Is that like that's gotta be like the only way to do that?
Got a iced out Cartier watch. It's not worth more than my Omega right here. Than my stock
That's
Seamaster
fair.
Omega. It's not worth more than the Omega that I got on my wrist right now. Trash. Do not
I
bust
don't know
down your
watches. I'll
jewelry. Do
believe
not
you.
bust down your watches under no circumstances, y'all. Please, for the love of God, when you get something, leave it stock. Do not let them bust down a watch. And I know a lot of y'all like to flash and stunt. If you're not a rapper, listen, just get the regular old plain Jane, whatever it is that you have. You will be disrespecting the watch and the watch community if you then bust down your watch, all right?
Huh.
$40,000. That's what I think it's worth. I ain't gonna tell you what I paid for it.
Ooh.
Okay, so I mean, hypothetically, if we put a deal together, you would put the
Your future in mechanical engineering technology starts
Dude
here.
got
Go
scammed on
zero
that
to
watch, I
bachelor's in
guess.
just 2.5 years with
watch as a down payment plus the cash.
I'm okay with doing that as long as it gets me into that car that I
I
want.
don't even know if the
We will
rappers
do
really need it.
anything for
Can
a
they
car.
just like borrow it?
Anything for a car. We will be broke. We will sleep in it. We
I don't
will
understand rap
sell
though.
our
That's like
left
the one
nut. We
music
will
genre, other than like the
give our
folky rap.
girlfriends over into an indecent proposal to get into a fresh ride. We will do anything. We are so behind. And then these same people will sit here and talk about, I can't survive, inflation, oh, it's costing too much money. They
get
will
'em.
do
Get 'em, get 'em.
anything just to look good. Anything to propose themselves to look good.
Black, you won't consider a non-black ghost? Because I have narrow bodies that I could get you in, and they're under 100 grams.
Where I'm from, we don't do narrow bodies, brother. We like them wide.
Hey, if you get above the
I
age of
feel like there's multiple jokes that could be made there. What the hell?
25 and you still talking about what we do, where we from, and that's how you making your decision of whether or not you want to invest in this thing or whether or not you should get this item. If it's based off of
It's not
identity
an investment. A
politics
car's
or
never an
diversity, equity,
investment.
and inclusion,
Okay,
or
unless if it's like
whether or
a
not
very
people are
specific
going to
thing.
look at you a certain way,
It's a
man, we are
very
lost.
niche
We are in
reason to like
2024
invest,
and we still
quote
talking
unquote,
about
in
where
a
I'm
car.
from.
Everything
If you
because
are
it
above the age
depreciates
of
and stuff.
25 years old and you still trying to stunt for people that don't care nothing about you, you are a lost cause. 100%.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I can respect that, but that's just okay.
Alex, I feel like you're still wasting my time, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I can find a car like this somewhere else, and I think that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Feels like you've been putting me down since the moment I picked up the phone, and I really don't respect that. I don't really mess with that. So.
Okay. Well, let me at least text you the link to the one I have, man. I'm really not trying to waste your time. I could text you the link to the one I have just for you to look at, and I can give you a call back next week.
Yeah, brother. I probably
You're investing. You're talking on
He
the
offended. He offended.
You are investing. You're talking on the phone to that salesman to say,
He got bad
all
credit.
right, man. Well, just know that we're here for you, and I'm trying to land you in something that makes sense, you know. So.
He talking about S6 people.
Yeah, no, yeah, like car shows and stuff.
All right, Terry.
I'm gonna let you go.
All right, buddy.
It's insane. And I think that this would be a wake-up call and a lesson for a lot of the different people, because of course we got over 2,000 people watching here on YouTube alone. This should be a wake-up call for everybody. So shout out to them. I'm always going to link back to the content creators in order to illustrate a point. But my point is that we got to do better, y'all. We absolutely have to do better. It's no reason for us to be sitting here having these same conversations after we already know that it does not help us. It does not affect us in a positive way when we do things that's not in our best interest for people that don't even care anything about us. Your credit score is just a reflection of your bad habits.
Yeah, that's actually very true. That's very, 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 very true. He's the type of person that is keeping my towing company in business. I like that one. Brother, you don't know who I am. I've got the 15K in cash. That's not a problem. I got a loan for the down payment. Ugh, gosh. Hello. I can't believe I'm hearing this. Bro got a 440 credit score, needs to get a loan for a down payment, but the money is no problem, and he's trying to finance a $100,000 card. He need to be at Walmart looking at one of these. What? Oh, a bike. Oh, a bike. They're telling him to bike. Yeah. Ugh. Huh. Interesting. What else does this guy cover?
I want to make sure that I.
Is it mainly like news? Yeah, no, the e-bikes now can be pretty sweet. We were just going over like this video about this guy trying to finance a $100,000 car when he has like a 440 credit score. And it's like how life choices? Okay, what is this guy? So I guess he does like politics stuff with a mixture of other stuff. Yeah, no,
I
credit
want to share this
scores
video.
just tell you like how much money you can borrow from someone. The higher it is, the better it is for you, and that just makes it so that you can like get a house and stuff. That's what that means. But yeah, I think that unless there's like anything else that you want to watch, this might be it. But if you have any other financial questions, I guess I can try to explain. But yeah, just know that 440 is like really, really, really bad. I think like middle is yeah. Definitely. Um, I worked like in accounting, finance type stuff, but I mainly talk about like financial YouTubers. But I can like explain like basic stuff. And I try to do it somewhat more colloquially so it's not crazy. Okay, so collections. Collections are bad because that means that you owe someone money. And it's gotten to the point where you haven't like paid them back at all. So they're like sending like bounty hunters and like cold calling you like all the time. It's very bad to get collections. When you're in when you get collections, you're in a bad spot. Yeah. You can also have your pay garnished. It's the whole thing. Basically, collections is the point that you don't want to reach. Yeah, no, they take from your wages. So they'll take like a percentage of your money from you that you were supposed to earn. Yeah. Yes, it is old people stuff, but it helps to know the old people stuff that way that you don't get screwed. Because yeah, if you wanna see how you can get screwed, there's a whole channel dedicated to it about how you can screw yourself over by not knowing this stuff. But yeah, I might start hitting the bed because I do need to get up for the Caleb reaction, and I'm not a morning person, and I should probably actually edit it a little bit more. Yeah, it does start in college. Very true. I mean, technically, you should probably start even earlier. Oh well. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Spoon. I'll see you another time. Uh, thanks thanks for stopping in. I don't know how to say your name because like, but thanks for stopping in. But I will maybe see you later. I will be back in the morning. Goodbye.